Hello again there, wrestling fans. This is Rob, hashtag the real Bobby Munson, coming at you with the latest edition of Rob's Rockin' Wrestling. Yes, folks, here we are. We're starting to get onto the cusp of WWE's No Mercy pay-per-view. Early predictions about the card. Some matches confirmed, some we're pretty certain are going to happen, kind of thing. And I wanted to hop on here and give my early predictions for what we assume is going to be the full card, and my early predictions for what I think is going to occur at the event itself. Because hey, why not get ahead of the curve here? So we're going to start with the cruiserweight division. We're talking Neville taking on Enzo Amore, sorry, the realest guy in the room, and I can't even get his damn name right. Cruiserweight championship on the line here in this one. You know, a lot of people certain that we're going to have a Neville win here. I mean, that would seem like the logical thing, especially considering that Neville has held the title with such prestige ever since capturing it, even though he had that short 1 week without it situation there when Kira Tozawa beat him recently. But yes, Neville, obviously the king of the cruiserweights for a reason, and Enzo Amore comes marching on to 205 Live. Enzo Amore, many criticizing him for not being that strong in the ring. I'm not going to say I disagree with anybody on that. Enzo definitely not the strongest in the ring, but you know what, you guys? Some of the best competitors in WWE's history weren't always the best in-ring competitors. Sometimes it's not always about what you do in the ring, it's about how you handle yourself as a character. I think a lot of people are assuming that, Enzo's got all this backstage heat and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, you know what? Maybe some of the people don't like him, but, business is business, and Enzo Amore is a draw. You just have to go and take a look at the track record for 205 Live, for instance. If you go look on WWE's YouTube, in particular, at all the stuff based around 205 Live, the second that Enzo Amore showed up on 205 Live, his videos were getting a lot more hits than what any of them were getting previously, including Neville being the champion that he is. Now, that goes without saying that, Neville, a great competitor, been a wonderful heel character, amazing in-ring skill and stuff like that. But then you've got the polar opposite. You got this guy who's a loudmouth on a microphone, never shuts up, gets under people's skin, and yet he sells an assload of merchandise. He's getting more hits on the YouTube views. He's bringing, probably some fans who didn't really pay attention to 205 Live over to 205 Live at this point in time. So here we are with this match. Is it going to be a good match? Not bloody likely. I really do not see this one being a match that we're all going to be talking about for weeks to come because of the quality of the in-ring action. The reason we are going to be talking about this match for weeks to come is because I feel WWE and their track record just instinctively tells me that Enzo Amore is going to pick up a win, or it's going to be some sort of false finish where Enzo wins the match, doesn't win the title, or he is going to flat out win the Cruiserweight Championship, and everybody is going to be pissed. Everybody. Just like when Jinder Mahal won the WWE Championship and everyone was pissed then. WWE knows how to pull these moments off because it gets people talking. You can't tell me that if Enzo Amore wins this title at No Mercy, that it's not going to be one of the most discussed things on the internet that evening and the next day and for the weeks to come. People are going to be like, what the hell? And they're going to pay attention to it. So therefore, I think I'm going to make the bold statement right here, right now. Enzo Amore is going to beat Neville at No Mercy. Moving on to the women's division, we have a fatal four-way, whatever the hell it is. Typical, women's match booking for WWE recently, when it comes to the main roster anyway, I should say. So yes, we've got the champion Alexa Bliss is going to be defending her title against Sasha Banks, Emma, and Nia Jax. I want to say that I should throw out some sort of curveball and say someone odd is going to win this one, but I don't believe it's going to happen. Honestly, I think we're going to get one of those moments where you think Sasha's about to pick up the big win over Nia Jax, or maybe Emma's about to pick up the big win over Nia Jax, and then Alexa's going to come in with her cunning style, and she's going to slide that person who's trying to for that pinfall or whatever it is off of Nia, and Alexa's going to take that pin herself, because that is what Alexa is excellent at. It's a proven thing that's working for her character. It's proven to be working for the WWE in general, as obviously Alexa Bliss, one of their top draws in the women's division, and rightfully so. I mean, she's done excellent since coming to the main roster, and nobody can discredit her for what she has managed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this one is going to end with an Alexa Bliss championship win. I feel that we might also see an appearance from Asuka here. Whether Asuka does anything or whether she just comes out and reminds all of them that nobody's ready for Asuka, we'll wait and see what happens. But anyway, speaking of Asuka coming to the main roster, a lot of people talking about, oh, someone ending her streak right away, Alexa ending her streak or something along these lines. And I'm thinking, I don't think WWE is going to go that path. I honestly think they might keep this streak alive for a while, because they've got a bona fide star started here. I mean, all the press has been covering her long undefeated streak and everything like that. I mean, she is a media darling, so to speak, for the WWE right now, because she has broken so many records in a modern time when it is, somewhat difficult to break major records anyway, especially the ones of the caliber of what Asuka has broken at this point in time. So, I really feel they're going to keep that strong, character going. I honestly think she's going to run through the women on Raw. I think they're going to build her up, build her up, build her up. She is going to take the title. I think that this is going to be a bit of a long drawn out process, but I feel that inevitably the idea is going to be to have Charlotte and Asuka one day lock up. And I think they need to keep them separate for now for that exact reason. They need to keep them separate so that they can end up meeting on a big pay-per-view like a WrestleMania or something like that. In fact, Asuka and Charlotte taking on each other, if built properly, could be a top of the card potential main event quality WrestleMania match. And it's honestly what I predicted from the beginning. I told a lot of people that I thought that Asuka would go undefeated and would relinquish her title before losing it at NXT. I said she would relinquish it. She would come up to the main roster and say that, she relinquished it because she wanted to go to the main roster and prove herself there and prove that nobody at all is ready for Asuka. And I think that's what they're gunning for here. Yes, okay, she's got the injury. She's got the arm in the sling. It's easy to sit there and look at that and go, okay, but we could be being played, you guys. That arm injury could be a kayfabe injury. I mean, yes, they've made announcements that it's real and all this kind of stuff, but you know what? They could definitely manipulate us. I mean, this is a modern world. They've got to think outside the box and how to really surprise us as fans at times and stuff like that. And it was a perfect way to send Asuka off. I mean, she got her moment handing in the title. She got everybody clapping for her down at ringside there to see her off from NXT as she relinquishes the title that no one could defeat her for her opportunity to move up to the main roster. Now they're saying it's because she's unable to defend it in time, understandably, and that in terms of storyline makes the most sense. So you cannot knock the WWE for doing it, whether it's kayfabe or not. This is the right move, and I hope that it leads to a long booking time where eventually it will be Charlotte and Asuka to lock up. And I think that you got to have it at WrestleMania. I think it's good. I think it's maybe too soon to maybe do it this WrestleMania, but next year's WrestleMania, I think it has the potential to be one of the, say, top 3 booked matches on the card for that night. And I think that's what WWE wants to do. They really want to push those boundaries and, be the record setters, be the people who do things differently kind of thing. And they're really trying to, set that in motion. And I think that's where they're going with this. So, next, presumably, I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. I can't remember. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. But the tag team titles, obviously, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins to take on Sheamus and Cesaro. I'm not sure where to go with this one right now. I'm just gonna say it out there. Seth and Dean are gonna walk out still champions. I think there's a longer booking plan in place here. Seth and Dean to remain the champions for the time being. Whether or not there will be any involvement from Gallows and Anderson or the Hardys in this, I'm not too sure. But it's just one of those things where I think this is going to be played out a little bit longer. I feel that eventually this is going to lead, though, to a Dean Ambrose heel turn, and it needs to. I mean, Dean. I like Dean. I'm a fan of Dean, but then again, I'm a fan of pretty much everybody. Dean, I think, needs to have his character shaken up a bit. Dean needs to be given a new direction. And I think, the style of his character, people have gotten behind it and stuff like that. But I would love to see Dean take that heel turn. And not the heel turn, I'm, turning heel because everyone screws me, or I'm turning heel because, I need more championship gold and I'm aligning with authorities. No, Dean Ambrose is the perfect character to have a heel turn based on the fact that he is just kind of sick and tired of people in general. You could have him be that crazy lunatic they try to call him all the time, where he doesn't like anybody. He doesn't want to team with anybody. He doesn't want to trust anybody. He has trust issues. He's, destroyed from all the people who have messed him around over time and stuff like that. So he becomes unhinged. And he starts going on a rampage, destroying people in his path and everything. I think it would be a perfect look for Dean, and I hope that's what the long-term plan is. But for now, Dean and Seth walking away, still tag team champions. Next, we got Finn Balor taking on Bray Wyatt. Man versus man this time. And yes, this one, a lot of people really not that into this feud at all. Feel like it's hurting Finn in a sense. I'm not sure it's hurting Finn so much. I just honestly don't think that there's enough dynamic between these two to make it interesting. So I think unfortunately it's just these two don't have the spark that they should, or maybe aren't being given the right direction in which to take this thing. They don't seem to have the chemistry in the ring that we've seen Finn have with other opponents. And, it's not a knock to Finn or Bray at all. Both great competitors, both interesting characters. I like both guys here. So, honestly, I know I'm certain Finn's gonna win. I mean, I think that's the direction WWE wants to go. Obviously, they can have Bray Wyatt eat, he's the eater of losses, I guess. So, he's used to it. You look at his track record recently, Bray's been, probably winning a few more than he's been losing, especially on Raw and stuff like that, which is, unusual for him. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to change anything here. I believe the long-term booking is for Finn to be a top guy. Bray, I think they kind of consider him a top guy, someone that they can insert that at any point in time into pretty much any main event or semi-main event type matchup, and people will be like, okay, it's Bray Wyatt, is this his chance? Is this his chance? We're still going to buy into it a little bit. I know there's a lot of people out there that, naysayers don't like Bray and stuff like that. It's like, is it his fault, or is it just WWE has not allowed him to be that character that he needs to be? We like the character, obviously. We obviously want to get behind it. But at the same time, WWE's not allowing it to flourish in the right way. So anyway, Finn wins that match. So we got two more to go. We know John Cena going to take on Roman Reigns. And no, this will not be a battle of words. This will be a battle of fists and body slams. And when it comes down to it, I think this is going to turn into a trilogy feud. I'm pretty certain of it, you guys. I feel like this is going to be an opportunity for Cena to put Roman Reigns over, giving Roman that other notch on his belt. Hey, I beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I'm potentially retired the damn Undertaker. And now I beat John Cena. So I think Roman Reigns is going to go over in this match. I do think it's going to lead to a second match where Cena will probably pick up the win. And then I'm imagining a third match after that where Roman will inevitably win the entire feud. So it's going to be a 2-1 victory in favor of Roman. Some thoughts on this whole thing. Again, I don't see that as a bad thing. Cena is at a point in his career where he can be putting guys over and nobody's going to sit there and go, oh, that was wrong, or nobody's going to discredit Cena. It's not going to bring down his credibility at that point in time. So again, Cena putting Roman over would be good for Roman Reigns himself. So we'll see where it goes. I believe this is going to be a better match than maybe people are thinking it will be. I think the two of them are going to put on a hell of a show. I personally, here's my thoughts. I would love to see this match be that match that goes a bit of a distance. WWE has not done a match that ended due to a time limit for a long time. I mean, it's almost as if time limits don't exist, even though in some matches they have stated, especially over with the stuff with the Cruiserweight Classic, Mae Young Classic, and everything like that. They do state that this match is scheduled for a 15-minute time limit, 20-minute time limit. Now, can you imagine? I know a lot of fans aren't going to want to see Roman and Cena go a full hour, but what if they said that because it's a non-title match or whatever, there's no titles involved, that there was a 30-minute time limit, and these two managed to go 30 minutes, and they called it. People would be like, what the hell? Really? Kind of shocked. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, comparing it to Kenny Omega and Okada with their non-finish that went an hour or whatever. But, WWE do want to do things like that because not all their WWE universe are watching New Japan Pro Wrestling or anything like that. So they don't know that kind of stuff has been booked before and booked recently. So it would be a good thing for WWE to try it out, see what happens. You got two guys here. Neither one of them is going to lose any popularity or anything like that by doing something like that. If you think that it's going to make fans hate them, well, surprise, surprise, there is a lot of people out there that are not fans of John Cena or Roman Reigns for that matter. So this one going to a draw based on time limit is not going to hurt either of them. So I honestly think it should go that way, but I don't think it will. I think this one's going to Roman. I'm going to predict Roman Reigns over John Cena in this first Clash of the Titans. So. Last up, Universal Championship. We've got Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar for the title. And yes, if you've been paying any attention, we know that Brock Lesnar going to not really be seen on television again after No Mercy for quite some time. In fact, as many have said in the reports, not until the new year. So again, if Brock Lesnar walks away as Universal Champion, we will not see the Universal Champion again for the balance of this year. I know that's not a long time, but it seems like a long time for someone to be able to just walk away and not defend the title, We sit there and talk about, the rules that are in place on the have to defend within 30 days. I honestly think it's like, again, the WWE like to argue. It's like, oh, well, Lesnar's a draw. He comes out for these big events. And I've heard many in the industry, people that I respect say, well, back in the day, Andre the Giant only showed up for certain shows. But, that was then, this is now. And the thing is, if you're going to play up the rules for other certain champions, when they've pulled it out against every other champion that they've got, but they're not going to pull it out against Brock because, hey, he's a big attraction, Again, big attraction, granted. Does he need to be the champion? No, because the drawing power is there regardless of whether or not he is champion. So if Brock is still champion, that means he's probably going to run it through to WrestleMania, where the obvious prediction that he meets Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and Roman dethrones him there has been right all along, and it's not what people necessarily want. Again, I'm not against Roman Reigns winning that Universal Championship. I mean, I'm all for it. I don't have a problem with Roman. But at the same time, I know nobody wants to see Lesnar versus Roman Part 2 at WrestleMania in particular. I mean, if it was going to happen at the Royal Rumble, nobody would have a problem with it. But the fact of the matter is, this is the showcase of the Immortal and stuff, and we don't want a Roman title win occurring at WrestleMania. I almost get the funny feeling like they're doing this because they know they weren't going to put that title around Roman at WrestleMania, which is not the moment the fans want. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get to WrestleMania with Jinder Mahal as the champion over there, is my prediction. Jinder runs with the championship so that at the end of the night, when, say, AJ Styles or somebody finally headlines WrestleMania against Jinder Mahal and takes that title off of him, everyone will be like, who cares? Who cares what happened? Oh, Roman's champion, nobody cares because AJ. That's how it goes down. It's interesting booking, and it will get people talking. But at the same time, screw you, Lesnar. So I'm not, of all people, I'm not a fan of Lesnar because he just seems like he doesn't care about the business. He's just in it for his paycheck. When you see all these people who are so dedicated all the time, looking for that opportunity, the kind of opportunities that were gifted to him because of his physical size and his wrestling background. I mean, there's people who have a great wrestling background, just like Lesnar did and stuff, but because they're not physically as big as he is, it wasn't quite the draw. And I mean, Lesnar also became a star because of his running in UFC kind of thing. So that kind of helps. But at the same time, I don't think that your whole career should be based on that either. On the other hand, you got Braun Strowman, a guy who, when he first came in, I thought, oh, holy shit, this guy's huge and stuff like that. But that's all I thought. I thought he's going to be a two-move, great Khali wonder kind of thing and stuff. And, no disrespect for the great Khali in terms of like him as a person. It's just troubles me with when guys only have a small arsenal of moves and don't really want to expand on it and stuff because they're a big guy and why try. Braun Strowman, on the other hand, has not only been trying and doing all these crazy things, but he is just that monster we've always needed. He is that big guy powerhouse that also gives us quite a spectacle in the ring, one you don't expect from a guy as physically big as Braun Strowman. His moments have been memorable. I mean, he has been one of the most memorable parts of WWE this entire year. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I'm going to call Braun Strowman the best of this year. Because you could package together so many moments based on everything the guy has done this year alone, and it would be memorable. And that's what we need, is somebody memorable. But whether or not he's memorably going to defeat Brock Lesnar is another question. I think this one is going to end in a screwy finish again, folks. I think that Brock Lesnar will win, but it's going to be by DQ or something along those lines. Lesnar unable to continue to compete, and they'll keep the goddamn title on him. Braun will stand tall, showing that he, destroyed the beast. And that's how they're going to write Lesnar off TV for a while, even though he'll still be the champion. Braun Strowman standing tall, losing the match by disqualification, but he's beaten the beast to a pulp. We don't see the beast back until next year, but still he gets to keep that title somehow. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it right now. That may change by the time I watch Monday Night Raw. I don't know. I guess we'll find out this coming Monday. And if it does change, well, hey, screw it. I can always make another one of these. And hopefully all 5 or 6 of you that are tuning in will listen. And hey, if we get more than 5 or 6 listeners on this, fantastic. I welcome everybody, anybody. So if you do me such a favor as to please share Rob's Rockin' Wrestling YouTube channel with your friends, your family, your dogs, your cats, your birds, your lizards, anything that can possibly sit there and enjoy the sounds of my voice. Just kidding with you guys. But no, please do share. Please give me a subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm just looking to reach out to a lot of people, and if you want to reach back to me, talk to me, engage, definitely tripping over my own words. Please do. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy having the time to engage with the WWE universe and all of you fans out there. It actually makes life fun. I really enjoy having discussions regarding pro wrestling with all of you guys. So definitely reach out to me at VaporRob on Twitter. So yeah, definitely check that out, or always check out hashtag the real Bobby Munson if you're looking to track me down as well too. Subscribe to me here on YouTube would be fantastic and much appreciated. Much love to all of you. Thank you always for listening, and I will continue doing this because I love this industry. I love pro wrestling. And I love anybody who can be a fan of it as well and understands it the way I do as well too. So thank you to all of you. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm out.